In this video, I'm going to show you another example of using the I.C.A.N rule to understand DAX measures and filter context. It's called I.C.A.N because if I can do it, you can too. So this came from one of our LearnPowerBI.com students, Barry, and he said, Javi, I'm trying to use a nested if inside a SUMX and it's driving me a bit crazy. Well, let's see what we have on our hands. So I'll show the setup to you. It's a very simple table: metro area, ID, metro area, population. And here we have that shown in a table, and we have added a simple measure, metro rank, uses rank X to determine the rank of the metro area. And this one is working accurately. But what the next step was desired was some kind of a weighted population. So here we wanted something which weights the population based on the rank. So if rank is in top 10, we multiply it by a factor of 1.2. If it's in 11 to 25, by a different multiplication factor, weighting factor, and so on. So great. So this is in Excel. I showed that in Excel because it's kind of easy to understand here. But first step was to recreate that Excel formula in DAX. So this was the formula, and essentially it just recreates the whole thing in DAX. And later we're going to use a switch function instead of nested if because that's a little more elegant. You're going to see that. And this works. So this does return the correct values for the weighted population except the grand total. And that is understandable because in DAX, in Power BI, every cell is an island. Every cell is calculated individually. This one is not the sum of all of these, right? So once DAX gets here, the grand total row, it goes, okay, what is the rank? Well, rank is actually 1, and it says, fine, I'm going to multiply the population with 1.2 as defined in a measure. So that's what we're getting. But that's not what we want. We instead want each of these to be added up. And so far, so good. In fact, it was kind of obvious that what we need to do is some kind of an X function. Hence, we wrote SUMX over that formula. So we said, okay, fine, we're going to go row by row, which is what an X function does. It's an iterator, and just add all of these up. But you can see here, not only is it not working at the total level, it's also broken at the metro area level. In fact, for each one, what it's doing is it's multiplying it by 1.2. So something is going wrong. Let me switch to the different file. And the first thing that I did was a bit of aesthetics. So first thing, I changed the if nested if to a switch statement. You can see it's a lot more readable. That's great. And then instead of redefining this again inside the SUMX, I'm going to reuse that measure. So inside the SUMX, now I'm simply reusing the measure that we already have existing, right? So just a bit of aesthetics, some best practices. Now this doesn't fix our issue at all. It's as broken as it was. Let's tackle that. So here, when I looked at this SUMX, it's doing a SUMX weighted population, and I looked at this measure, I noticed that it really has two different measures inside it. And I felt, hey, let's make sure that each of those measures themselves are working correctly inside SUMX, right? So just break down the problem into simpler chunks. So I'll show you what I did. What I did was I defined a simple test measure, so this one tests population inside a SUMX. So I just want to see how this measure behaves inside SUMX. So great. Now if we add the test population next to our population, you can see that these two match perfectly. Great. Now let's try the same test on the other measure, which is in our underlying measure weighted population, metro rank. So now we have a test metro rank, and which you can see is just trying to test how does this measure behave inside the SUMX. So now let's add test metro rank next to our metro rank. And you can see this is broken. This is not working. So we have set up the problem, and in part 2 of this video, I'm going to debug using the I.C.A.N rule as to why this measure is not working. Hey, keep watching more videos and keep learning Power BI. But if you did enjoy this video, I would love to hear from you. So leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Power on, my friends.